Millet is the seed of a plant that is one of the oldest crops. It is native to North Africa, where millet originated more than 10,000 years ago. Afterwards, it was cultivated in Mongolia and ancient China. It has not been found in the wild for a long time. Millet used to be called the golden grits, although it is not only yellow, but also white, gray, and even red. Millet grains are round and tiny in size. The most common form is the peeled grain. Today, these golden grains are actively used in the preparation of various dishes, and the consistency of the finished millet varies from the form of airy puree to crumbly porridge, which resembles rice. The most popular dish is millet porridge. The benefits and uses of millet. Millet is considered one of the least allergenic crops. It is very easily digested by the body, so it is suitable even for people with sensitive digestion. Millet contains 70% of starch, 12 to 15% of protein, including many essential amino acids, enzymes, about 2.5 to 3.5% of fat, a little less than 1% of fiber, up to 2% of sugars, as well as B vitamins and trace elements. Phosphorus, potassium, magnesium. Millet is a record breaker in terms of magnesium and molybdenum content. The product is rich in fiber and is the main source of slow carbohydrates, so it is extremely useful for the proper functioning of the digestive organs. If you regularly eat millet porridge or other products of millet, you cannot fear constipation, cramps, stomach ulcers, and other gastrointestinal diseases. Phosphorus helps maintain the integrity of nerve cells. Millet can also act as a preventative for fall depression. Silicon and fluoride in millet are extremely useful for strengthening nails, hair, and teeth, the main indicators of health and youthfulness of the body. Vitamins and minerals are beneficial to the skin. Increasing its tone normalizes its color and can prevent the appearance of wrinkles. Insoluble fiber contained in cereals not only reduces the time that food stays in the intestines, but also reduces the release of acid in the gallbladder. It is its overabundance that causes stones. Millet helps stabilize blood pressure, reduces the risk of heart attack, especially in people with atherosclerosis or diabetes. Due to the high potassium content, the product has vasodilator properties. Millet is rich in fiber, so it is excellent for clearing the body of harmful cholesterol, increasing the level of useful cholesterol. This in turn has a positive effect on heart health. Cereals have a diaphoretic and diuretic effect. They are used in the treatment of dropsy. Millet groats help to strengthen damaged broken bones, promote wound healing. The product also has a restorative effect on the body, improving the functioning of organs and systems. It helps to neutralize various toxic substances, so porridge is useful for poisoning, while taking antibiotics and other powerful drugs. It is recommended to eat it by athletes and people who are engaged in heavy physical labor, to restore strength and strengthen the muscular system. Regular use of dishes from millet helps to regulate metabolism, especially fat. It is useful when you are prone to overweight, with problems with the liver, in hypertension. Millet helps to effectively get rid of the ailment in the early stages of development. 3 tablespoons of millet should be cleaned of impurities. Wash under running water. Dry, grind the cereal in a coffee grinder or grind. The resulting powder should be eaten during the day, without drinking. It is enough to take 3 to 4 tablespoons of millet powder per day. For cracked heels. When cracked heels and feet, it is recommended to do a kind of peeling with millet groats. To do this, you need to put it in cloth socks and walk around the house for a while. This procedure should be repeated daily, and after a few days there will be a noticeable improvement. In addition, there will be an additional massage effect on the reflexogenic zones of the feet, which has a beneficial effect on the overall well-being. For cystitis, a handful of washed cereal completely pour boiling water, stir after cooling. When a turbid sediment appears, the remedy should be taken in a glass 15 to 20 minutes before a meal for a week. It is recommended to drink in small sips until the complete disappearance of pain, burning, frequent urination characteristic of cystitis. General tonic. Take 10 tablespoons of millet groats, rinse with hot water directly in a container, then drain the liquid. Then pour the groats into a blender. Add a glass of purified water. Whisk thoroughly. After, strain through gauze. The ready remedy is taken 1 glass a day, 15 minutes before a meal. For each reception, you need to prepare a new portion of the medicinal drink. Such a remedy has a beneficial effect on the whole body. It has a diuretic effect, helps to dilate blood vessels, reduce blood pressure, thin the blood, renew the blood cells, and also prevents the formation of gallstones in the gallbladder. In case of sore throat, in half a cup of warm millet porridge, add a little baking soda, about 1 teaspoon, put compress on the throat, and wrap it. Keep the compress for several hours. Usually it is enough to carry out 3 procedures to recover. As a rule, improvement comes after the first compress. Conjunctivitis. An inflammation of the mucous membranes of the eyes will be very effective infusion of millet. Its main advantage is complete safety and the absence of side effects. To prepare the infusion, take 1 tablespoon of millet. Pour a glass of purified water. Place the container on a low heat and boil for 10 minutes. Afterwards, leave the mixture to infuse for at least 2 hours. The resulting decoction should be filtered through gauze, and wipe the eyes with it at least 5 to 6 times a day. The remedy can be stored for no more than 1 day, so every day you need to prepare a new portion. For heartburn, 3 times a week you need to use millet porridge. For its preparation, rinse the groats under running water. Bring to a boil, drain the liquid, and fill with clean water. Porridge prepared in this way is also useful for pancreatic diseases. For thrombophlebitis, prepare laundry soap, millet, pork fat, and onions. All ingredients should be ground by passing through a meat grinder and mix until a homogeneous mass. If the product is too thick, you need to add boiled water. To store the ointment, you can use a glass jar with a lid. The ointment is used at night. The ointment should be put in a thick layer on the affected areas, having previously covered them with a linen cloth. On top, you need to attach a plastic wrap and a warm woolen scarf. In the morning, rinse off the rest of the ointment. Means are used for 10 days after a break, and then continue the therapy. For a good effect, the course is repeated 3 times. For gout, grind half a cup of millet in a coffee grinder. Mix with 1 tablespoon of wet yeast and a teaspoon of salt. From the resulting mixture, you need to put compresses on the sore spot at night. For diarrhea, rinse millet under running water. Heat in a hot pan, then grind into flour with a coffee grinder. The ready remedy should be taken 3 tablespoons 2 times a day. Wheat flour should be drunk with a sufficient amount of sweetened water. The intake of such flour should be continued until the complete normalization of the stool. For abscesses on the body, fill millet with natural cow's milk and stew in a warm oven for about 1 to 2 hours. For half a cup, you will need the same amount of milk. When the grits are boiled, add 1 tablespoon of honey and a teaspoon of propolis and mix thoroughly. The warm composition is applied to the abscess, securing it with cellophane and a bandage. The procedure is performed twice a day. Harm and contraindications. Millet is a very useful product for the body, but it is not suitable for everyone. Abuse of millet porridge can lead to constipation. The use of millet in moderation is recommended to pregnant women. Men should take note that a large amount of millet in the diet can lead to a weakening of the potency. The product is contraindicated in large quantities for those with inflammation in the colon, those who have been diagnosed with stomach disease, and people with low acidity. The use of millet porridge should also be refrained from during the treatment of hypothyroidism, as it can interfere with the intake of iodine. It is not recommended to cook dishes from rancid or undercooked cereals, as this can harm the body, leading to stomach upset and problems with the digestive tract. Millet porridge is recommended to be eaten in combination with fermented dairy products and vegetables. In this case, the cereal is easier to digest.